Most guys think the reason she lost interest is because they weren't attentive enough, didn't text back fast enough, weren't open enough with their feelings. The real reason is much darker. She lost interest because she figured you out completely. And once a woman fully solves a man emotionally, once there's nothing left to discover, the attraction doesn't just weaken, it dies. Quietly, completely, often without her even understanding why. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why women crave the men they can't fully figure out, and how to become that man without playing a single game. Here's what actually happens when you meet someone you genuinely like. The feeling is strong, so you do what feels natural. You open up, you share your feelings early, you text constantly. You explain your intentions clearly because you think transparency builds connection. And you watch her slowly pull away. Have you ever noticed that the woman you liked least at first was the one you ended up chasing the hardest, and the one you gave everything to immediately? Somehow lost interest the fastest. That's not random. That pattern has a very specific psychological explanation. There's a guy, let's call him Marcus, smart, genuinely good guy. Third date with a woman he really liked. Things were going well. Then at 2 a.m. he sent her a long message, told her exactly how he felt, how much he liked her, how he hadn't felt this way in a long time. She responded warmly, and then slowly started fading. He couldn't understand it. He was honest. He was vulnerable. He did everything the world told him to do. What he didn't realize is that in one message he handed her the entire emotional equation. She now knew exactly where he stood, exactly how attached he was, exactly how available he'd always be. And once a woman fully maps out a man's emotional world, the curiosity dies. Not because she's cruel, because the human mind stops fixating on what it has already completely solved. Here's what the men women actually crave understand about this. Attraction is not built on how much you feel. It's built on how much she still wants to find out. And emotionally grounded men create that naturally. Not through games, not through silence tactics, but through self-possession. Their focus exists beyond her attention. Their emotional world feels controlled instead of constantly spilling outward. Their life clearly moves independently from whether she texts back. And women feel that difference at a level they can't always articulate but will always act on. This is exactly where most advice gets it completely wrong. Emotional mystery isn't about becoming cold or unavailable. Real depth comes from having an identity larger than the relationship itself. Genuine purpose, actual routines, standards that don't dissolve the moment attraction appears. There's a second guy, same situation. She tests him on a date. Casually drops, "So what are we?" Mid-conversation, watching for the reaction. He doesn't panic, doesn't over-explain, doesn't launch into an emotional speech trying to reassure her. He stays warm, slightly amused, shifts the conversation naturally, still present, still engaged, but completely unshaken. She texts her friend that night. "I can't figure him out, but I can't stop thinking about him either." 3 days later, she's texting first, creating reasons to see him, investing in ways she hadn't before, without him asking, without him chasing, without him doing anything except staying grounded in himself. Same woman, completely different behavior, because his calmness communicated something no words could, that his peace existed independently from her approval. Warmth without desperation, interest without emotional collapse. That combination doesn't just create attraction, it creates obsession. So what does this actually look like in your life? First, reveal slowly, not strategically. Don't perform mystery. Just stop rushing emotional intimacy. Let her experience who you are through behavior and time rather than one late-night conversation where you hand her everything at once. Second, when you feel the urge to over-explain, pause. That urge almost always comes from fear. Fear that if you don't reassure her immediately, she'll lose interest. But that anxious reassurance communicates exactly the emotional dependency that ends attraction. Stay calm. Let the moment breathe. Uncertainty handled with composure is more attractive than any explanation. Third, maintain your actual life. Not as a tactic, actually. Your work, your training, your friendships, your goals. When a woman sees that your world continues independently from her attention, she senses she's dealing with a man who is genuinely full on the inside. And internal fullness removes desperation from your energy in a way that no strategy ever could. Fourth, understand that chosen attention hits completely differently. The man who texts you between meetings feels different from the man who texts you because he has nothing else going on. Women feel that distinction before they consciously process it. Here's the line nobody wants to say out loud, but every grounded man eventually figures out. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for attraction is nothing. Stay consistent. Stay calm. Don't chase the outcome. Because the moment a man stops emotionally performing for validation, his entire presence shifts, and she feels that shift before she can explain it. The men women think about longest are rarely the ones who tried hardest. They're the ones whose calmness felt meaningful, whose depth felt endless, whose identity never got swallowed by attraction. Women don't obsess over the man who made himself emotionally easy to possess. They obsess over the man who stayed present, fully, genuinely present, while remaining deeply connected to himself first. Become that man, not for her attention, because that version of you is genuinely worth becoming. And quietly, without forcing it, she'll start chasing the version of you that stopped desperately chasing her.